Good afternoon. Hi, Facebook Live peeps. Judy here, award-winning life mastery consultant, with today's topic, imagination. Yeah. Imagination is one of the 6 mental faculties that we'll be studying throughout this Facebook Live series. So let's give people a couple minutes to come on. Yes, we are very much alive. And hi, Tracy. Woohoo! North Carolina in the house. I love it. People come on in. Hey, Tracy, we're going to talk about imagination today. Great. Tracy, type in the comments what it is that you know about imagination. Oh, Crystal. Hi, Crystal Phillips. Amen. Oh, all right. Great. Well, type in where you're tuning in from. We'll get started in a minute. And I just want to put a little plug in of why you want to like this and love it and share it. Bring to mind now someone who bring to life. I love, Tracy says, life works well when I use it. Imagination. Amen. Laura Meeks, all right. Hi, Laura. Laura, we're talking about imagination today. All right. Wow, California in the house. I love it. Laura Meeks, you're in California. You're not flying. I love it. Wow. Hi, Joyce. Yeah, type in where you're coming from. We're talking about imagination today. I'm calling you guys out. We're forming this Facebook Live community. All right. There you go. Like, love, love, love. Someone asked me why I say that at my Facebook Live. Raleigh, North Carolina in the house. North Carolina, California, Texas. I love it. I love it. The more you like, the more you love, the more Facebook pushes out this content to more people. And the more you share it, more people get to hear the content. Okay, here we go. Imagination. Now, imagination is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivable, powerful force that the world has ever known. Yes. How many of you agree with that? Type yes if you agree. There you go. Come on, Laura. Laura Meeks, type yes. Okay. If you agree. I love it. It is the most powerful force that you'll ever know. Now, I want to tell you a little bit of story. Hey, Tracy. A little story about imagination and how I used my imagination yes, Laura Meeks, how you use your imagination to create the life you love. Or you can use your imagination to create the life you don't love. Works both ways. Works anyway. Okay? When I was a kid, back in 1950s, believe it or not, yes, I am that old, we used to come in and sit on the back of the couch and sing to Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Yeah, cowboys and stuff. And imagine that we were riding Trigger and we were out there riding those horses. The other thing that we used to do is I used to be a religious Mickey Mouse Club follower. We would sing to Jimmy in the crowd because I imagined myself as a mouseketeer, you know. Anybody out there ever want to be a mouseketeer? That was back in the black and white days. Yep, I love it. Okay, so I knew all the songs. My folks knew where we were. We were watching the Mickey Mouse Club, knowing that someday I would be in front of a crowd of people telling them that you are loved, you are appreciated, you are cool right the way you are. I'm a mouseketeer. Do you have those ears? Mouseketeer ears? Yeah. So I didn't really realize, you put that dream on hold when your folks say grow up and go to college and do all that stuff and fit into something. Well, I never quite fit into too many things. And then I found myself singing with this singing group Celebration at Unity Church of the Hills. I looked out and there's my crowded audience. We were singing to the Mickey Mouse Club at Unity Church. Not only did that lead to that, which was one of the most fun things in my life, we were chosen to sing in this Road to Austin concert with Chris Christopherson, Bonnie Raitt, all of those people. Hey, Dan. And that was in 2007, and I still can't believe that happened. We were up there singing. There were 7,000 people out there singing. It was planted in my imagination when I was much younger, not knowing how it would end up. So I want to read to you. Now we'll get into the topic, okay? Imagination is more important than knowledge. Press like if you agree. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Now, we all had imagination when we were little kids. My little 3-year-old granddaughter, she twirls around like a ballerina. There you go. And, it's so much more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand. Well, imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and understand. That's a quote from Albert Einstein. Hey, there's Marcia Rothenstein from Pennsylvania in the house. I love it. Imagination is more important than knowledge. So, how do you develop an imagination? What is it? Well, there's actually two kinds of imaginations. Okay? There's a synthetic imagination, and that applies to changing existing concepts and ideas. That's one way, a synthetic imagination. And that's where you see something, okay, well, let's see what we can imagine to change it. And then another part of another imagination is creative imagination. And that utilizes your genius to create new concepts and ideas. So I know there's people that are popping in who are creatively imaginative geniuses. Yes. Okay. Now, one of them, the synthetic imagination, really creates nothing that's new. And the creative imagination, it works wonders. Will work in wonders. Now, are you willing to experiment with this? Okay, anybody here? Experiment with your imagination? Mm-hmm. And okay. So, one of the things that always happens with imagination that I'm finding with my clients is we call it visioning, taking a vision. Now, there's all these old ideas and belief patterns that pop up, and they say, well, wait a minute, that's stupid, you can't do that, you're too old, it's never been done before, you're too old, you don't have enough money, you didn't go to college for that. So those are the things that are blocking our imaginations. There's something that happens around age 5 called the internal, what is it called? The voice of internal judgment, okay? Where we start to well, maybe I shouldn't imagine that because, well, what will the other people think? Or I'm going to get in trouble if I even think that or can imagine that. And there's something that develops in us that shuts that imagination down until we come to a couple programs like Dream Builder and blow the lid off of it. So here's the question to ask yourself. The only question you really ever need to ask yourself. Are you ready? I see North Carolina is ready. Pennsylvania ready? Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. The only question that you'll ever have to ask yourself when you're using that mental faculty of imagination is, what would you love? What would I love? Got it? All right, so let's take a deep breath. Okay. Yeah. See you later, Laura. So, what would I love? What would I love? So, let's go in and imagine your ideal day. Your very ideal day where everything went exactly the way you loved. Okay? In your imagination. Now, you might want to stop yourself, but realize this is just a game. It's imagination. Okay? What would you love? Okay, so take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Okay. What would I love? What does my ideal day look like? My ideal life. Okay? Now, ask yourself these questions. I'm going to ask you, where are you in your ideal day? Go ahead and type it down. Where are you in your ideal day? Are you on a beach? Are you in the mountains? Are you in your kitchen, a fancy restaurant, Paris? Where are you? What would you love? How old are you in your ideal day? Okay. What are you wearing? Picture that. The mind thinks in pictures. That's what I call imagination, image. Yeah. Hey, Sandy D. Talk about an imagination person. Okay. 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 So so where are you? What is it that you would love to create your ideal day, your ideal life? What's the weather? What kind of weather is happening in that ideal imaginary day, in your mind day? And what is the dream that you see yourself accomplishing in that ideal imaginary vision day? What is that dream that you always wanted to, what are you passionate about? And it's already done. Okay? Now, how willing are you to ask the universe or your higher power, your God, to assist you in creating that dream? Yes. Hey, David Norris. Okay, talk about dreamers. All right. Well, right here in our news feed here, we have Sandy D is with us from California. And Sandy, can you type in the comments and I'll read it out, what your ideal dream was and how you are living into it now. While you're typing, Sandy, I'm going to talk a little bit about her dream with her dog, Mr. London. Okay, now Sandy D, my good buddy from California, has a dream of providing every veteran a service dog who needs it, right? And she developed a not-for-profit. She's going to put that down there. Yes, like. Cool. Likes, a lot of likes and a lot of loves. Yes, quite a vision and quite an imagination. Quite a powerful journey Sandy's on. She's going to put her contact information in the comment sections. That's just like one example of where a vision and persistence and going for it is really taken off. So in this process that we're studying now, imagination is the very first mental faculty, and we use our imagination to create our lives. And if you doubt that you have an imagination, we know we've used it to terrorize ourselves in worry, doubt, and fear. The message I want to leave you with today is that your imagination is more powerful than anything, than knowledge, than anything. So start to think, start to write down, start to vision in pictures. Write your ideal vision down of what you would love. and then send it to me, private message me, send it to me. And for the first 5 people, I have a little PDF file I want to send you of a book that I put together, an ebook, and you can get it. So today's message, hey, Forrest Bishop, Pennsylvania in the house. I love it. So today's lesson, imagination. You can always, when this is done, I upload it on my site. You can watch it and you can share it to others, and you can keep it. So there's just a little bit about what you would love, taking time to write that down in detail and with clarity, and then we're working through the process. Hey, Janet Reeves. Okay, cool. Well, so that's the Facebook Live for today. For those of you just joining us, you can come back. I'm going to post it. You can watch the whole thing. So far, yesterday we talked about perception. Today we talked about imagination. Tomorrow, want to give a little shout out and a little thing to this thing called intuition, listening to that small voice inside. So thank you all for following me once again on Facebook. Remember to think boldly, act bravely, accomplish brilliantly. Hold on a second. Sandy D says, I met Mary Morrissey and she believed in me when I didn't. I started a nonprofit called A Possibility for Veterans. You can like us on Facebook and you will meet Mr. London. And Mr. London is her dog. And what we do also, oops, hang on. And what we do also, okay, and it's sandyd.com. So I'll make sure everybody gets that, Miss Imagination. And thank you so much for tuning in, and love you and bless you. Think bravely, act boldly, accomplish brilliantly. The world needs you now more than ever. Love you. Peace out. Oops.